Howdy folks, I'm the Psychic Pineapple and today I want a challenge that isn't as challenging as the last one. Today I'm finding out whether I can beat Pokemon Alpha Sapphire with only one Vaporeon. I get my hands on a Vaporeon who I named Sasha quite quickly after starting the game, and now to check her stats. She has the Modest Nature, which is good for special attacks, and Sasha has a base stat of 110 in special attack as well, so that's pretty good. She'll hit hard with her special attacks, though she doesn't know any until level 9. Then I run into a weird kid who catches the Ralts, and then I run into a pirate in a forest. That's cool. Weird place to see a pirate, though. He throws a dog at me, and then Sasha kills it. Now then, an actually major battle. Roxanne. She has a Geodude and a Nose Pass. I go in without healing from any of the gym trainers and Sasha sweeps, because you know, water type. After that, I go and help out the Devon Company people, and for some reason they let this kid who just helped out a little bit ago talk to the president, who also for some reason sends me out to deliver a letter to his son. Next up is Brawly. He has a Machop and a Makihita. No comments on this, as Sasha is just a bit strong at this level, and going in after all the trainer battles, she ends up killing everything easily. Now, I feel like I just got a bit sidetracked. What was I supposed to do again? Oh yeah, deliver that letter. I head into the caves, kill a wild animal, and then give Steven the letter, and in return he pays me with Steel Wing, which I'm never going to use. Now then, this time I end up not getting lost in Slateport like I usually do, because I have a brain and can remember things. I end up meeting Captain Stern, which is a wonderful name for a boat guy, and fight some Team Aqua Grunts. Now I end up losing due to the rough skin from the Carvanas, which is fun, you know. However, I go back in and realize that Water Pulse actually does a pretty absurd amount of damage, despite not being very effective, and I don't need to just spam tackle over and over again. After that is a rival battle with Brendan, who ends up killing Sasha slowly with his higher level team. After some beating up with wild animals, Sasha learns Aurora Beam, which should be useful against Grovel. Next battle, Sasha one-shots the Slugma, then nearly one-shots the Grovyle and finishes it with a quick attack and then kills Whelmer, which takes longer since it resists all my attacks except quick attack, which does no damage because of Modest. Next up I meet up with Wally, who's also doing his own with only one Pokemon challenge run, and he wants to see how well it's going. Oh, and it's gone. That was easy. There goes his dreams, I guess. I go into Wattson without healing and end up losing due to paralysis. Next run through, I get luckier with paralysis, allowing Sasha to kill both Magnemite and Magaton with Water Pulse and a quick attack. Then Voltorb takes a few more hits to go down, but eventually it does. I then catch myself a Zigzagoon, who I name Lotta because I genuinely don't want to teach Sasha Rock Smash, and also for a Moss Deep Gym later on. Later on, I reach a guy talking about secret bases, and he asks me what I say when I'm happy. So naturally, I say, OBJECTION! I end up having to go to Meteorite Falls, where I encounter Aqua Admin Shelly, which is also another wonderful name for a water-themed person. Then I fight her in a random grunt, and Brendan's there to help. Battle isn't much to talk about. I then meet some nerd named Maxie. I end up in another battle with Shelly on a volcano this time, where Sasha kills her Grimer fairly easily, and then her last one dies as well. Though the big fight on this volcano is Archie, who I know loves his confusion moves, as do all the other major trainers. So I have Sasha use Aqua Ring on turn 1. Mighty Anna goes down instantly, though Golbat is out next and uses Confuse Ray. Oh, Sasha then kills it, and next up Sharpedo, who ends up taking quite a lot of damage from Water Pulse, despite resisting, obviously. Then Confusion does its thing and annoyed me, and then Sasha just takes a bunch of damage, which is why I use Aqua Ring in the first place. She ends up snapping out and killing. Next up is the Lava Ridge Gym, which shouldn't be that hard. It's literally the Fire Gym. Sasha is a modest water type with a decent special attack stat. There's only one way this can end. Anyways, here's Flannery, who I'm fighting without healing at all, and Sasha is a bit more hurt because I accidentally quick attacked a few too many times on a Kecleon, and the battle's already over. Well, that was fast. Next up is another gym battle almost immediately. This one is against Norman, and I'm gonna make him regret ever having a kid. I go into the fight without healing from the trainers, and Normal, I told him Normal, not Norman. Norman starts out with a slack off, who yawns as I have Sasha use Aqua Ring. After a few turns of sleep, Sasha wakes back up and spams Water Pulse. Next up is the Vigoroth, who also isn't too much of a problem as it goes down fairly easily. And then there's the last slack off, who I obviously expected to use a very powerful stat Retaliate, which has a power of 140 if you use it the turn after another Pokemon faints. Instead, he uses Swagger, which is nothing but negative for Sasha, you know, confusion, but she breaks out of it pretty quickly and then finishes off with a Water Pulse because Slack Off has Truant and can't do anything for half of its turns. After that, I head out on over the water on the back of Sasha until I get kidnapped by Steven, who brings me to a remote island. Then 2 pirates show up, and one of them has the most intimidating name you could ever think of. Apparently, the Italian version of the game, he also has a very intimidating name. Then, Latias is forced onto my team. Thanks, game. Welcome to my PC box, I fly. After heading down the next route, I wind up at the Weather Institute where Team Aqua is. After fighting a few of the grunts, I get into a very underwhelming fight with Shelly, who Sharpedo dies with 2 surfs. Now, Winona has 4 Pokemon, all around level 33 and 35. All of them are flying types, which are weak to Aurora Beam. First up is her fast one, which uses double team and then gets one shot with an Aurora Beam. Then is Altaria, which is one shot by Aurora Beam because, you know, 4 times weakness to ice. And also the fact that super training and modest nature make Sasha a beast when it comes to special attack. And then Pelipper, who gets hit with 2 surfs before dying. Finally, there's Skarmory, who also dies to a single surf. Next up, I overhear rumors about Mount Pyre. Heading up the graveyard, I end up at the top where Team Aqua steals an orb and I fight the ever-intimidating who still has a single Sharpedo. Now, I haven't needed to level grind at all since the last time I did it. Next up, I find out that Team Aqua steals a Submarine. So I, a character who is a literal child, is sent to go and retrieve it from a gang of evil pirates who are also adults. Yeah. Seems totally safe. Well, I go in and find them. I head into the Aqua base, where inside I end up getting lost as usual. I then get back to getting lost in this portal room. After somehow finding my way, I end up getting attacked by 5 grunts at once who all use their low-level Poochyena at once, which means nothing as one surf takes them all out in a really cool way. Next up is the intimidating Magic, who seems to think his team is cool despite still being a single Sharpedo. Though I can't complain seeing as I have a single Vaporeon. I also went into this fight with only 2 uses of Surf left, and Sasha still killed the Sharpedo in 2 hits. Next up, however, is the gym battle with Tate and Liza, who are a double battle gym who use rock psychic types. Sasha has a stupid strong surf, so I need to actually go back and grab Lotta, who will be a sacrifice to the all-powerful surf. Now then, it's time for the play-by-play that I love to do. Oh, it's over. Surf one-shot everything. Well, that was fun. What's next? A giant space laser? Neat. Oh, Steven kidnapped me once more, and he brings me to his house. And then he lore dumps on me and then gives me dive. You know, Steven, the champion, asked me, a child, to go and stop a primordial being from destroying the world. The man. Okay, so I teach iFly dive because I don't want Sasha knowing a physical attack. And then I need to go and get Lotta and then evolve her because I need her to know strength. Alright, next major fight is with Archie, who I actually finally lose to. A Screech brings down Sasha's defense and then Mega Sharpedo's Crunch kills. I'm just gonna keep resetting because I need to have 3 Pokemon on my party due to the HMs. Next attempt at level 51, Sasha gets poisoned, which is literally a death sentence, as she dies really fast. I feel like I should just give her a berry. You know, that'd probably help. However, my thoughts are in fact wrong. Instead of a poisoning move, Muck uses Screech, which drops Sasha's defense too much, making Crobat and Sharpedo's physical attacks do a stupidly high amount of damage. I do end up getting close, but the Crunch just does so much and Sharpedo just has too little HP. Now I feel like I'm gonna need to level up slightly to do this. Returning at level 53, Sasha takes out all 3 pretty quickly, but Sharpedo still does a bunch of damage. Now I think I can do more if I get luckier with higher damage rolls, but as it turns out, the things on that previous attempt were the high rolls. I'm just gonna need to level up, aren't I? At level 55, Sasha gets screeched at once more and ends up dying to a Crunch. However, in the very next attempt, Sasha takes out the Mightyena, the Muck goes down in 2 hits, then Crobat uses Acrobatics, and Sasha survives 2 turns with the Sharpedo, and finally kills it. After that, Archie does the very realistic thing. After all, a 10-year-old just beat you in a Pokemon fight. They're still a 10-year-old. They have weak arms. It's not like they can really realistically stop you from anything, right? He uses the blue orb and starts a world-ending storm, and again, it's up for a 10-year-old to save this planet somehow. I get kidnapped once more and sent down into a dangerous cave during multiple Earthquakes and end up riding on the back of Kyogre somewhere else. Then I wind up having to defeat that primordial monster. After saving the world, I realize I still need to beat the crap out of a bunch of adults. Let's go up against Wallace. Let's get into this fight without healing. Starting off, the Love Disc and Whiscash do literally nothing. Sea King takes a few more hits as well as Celio, and then Milotic comes out. And oh my god, do I hate Recover in this fight. Milotic literally cannot do a single bit of damage to Sasha. Aqua Ring almost always fully heals any damage that Milotic does. Sasha ends up running out of Surfs, and she has to spam Quick Attack and Aurora Borealis at it. It takes ages. Ended up using 9 Aurora Beams and 20 Quick Attacks to finish off Milotic due to Recover. Next up is Victory Road, and that one loser who sucks at Pokemon. You literally only fight him twice during the main story, and his first fight is just a Ralts. Now it's time for his team, which 2 of them are weak to ice moves and the rest are neutral. Not worried whatsoever. So let's see how correct I was. And oh hey, it's 100% correct. Mega Gallade's close combat did do a lot of damage, but like the rest of his team, got annihilated with Surf. Now then, we have to deal with the Elite Four. First up is Vienna. Mighty Anna goes down to a Surf, and then his next two grass types seem to be allergic to burnt roast. And then Sharpedo, as usual from Team Aqua Stuff, goes down easily. Next up is Phoebe, who uses ghost types. I was a bit worried because of Dusclops and Dusknoir, who have pressure, meaning I might not have enough Surfs for this, since I forgot to use the berries that I had that increase PP. Also, I did give Sasha a Parasm Berry because of Confuse Ray. I actually forgot to write about this, so I'm just going off memory here. I remember the fight actually itself wasn't that bad. Sasha did end up killing most of them pretty easily, especially the two Bannettes, which went down each in one Surf. But next up would be Glacia. He uses ice types. First up is the Glalie, who dies instantly, but then Walrein paralyzes, which sucks because it causes Sasha to lose. I reload my save and give Sasha a Cherry Berry. Next round goes a lot better, but Walrein still takes a bunch of hits. Then Confusion, which I still hate with a burning passion, which, due to that confusion, makes Sasha hurt herself a few more times, and then, because of a low roll on Surf, leaving the Glalie on just a sliver of health, she dies. So that's BS. I just need to retry once more. This time, Sasha ends up winning because I decided that I'm gonna go with Paralysis instead. It might be a bit better than being forced to take confusion damage, and not getting paralyzed is very hard, and Sasha is spending around like 10 turns getting hit with Body Slam. After that fight, going through my PP restoring moves, I realized one of the ones I have is a PP max, so I slapped that sucker on Surf. Next up is the Den of the Drake. That guy ends up having his entire team get annihilated by spamming Aurora Beam. Just think, if I actually took out the time to pick up Ice Beam, this battle would have been easier. Now then, it's time for Irresponsible Adult Steven. Skarmory starts out with Toxic, which makes me immediately reset so I can give Sasha a berry so I can cure that. I actually get pretty far into this fight. Sasha doesn't get poisoned because the AI cheats, and then she gets confused. Have I mentioned how much I hate Confuse Ray? Next fight goes exactly the same way due to taking too much damage before Metagross. Now I didn't want to have to refight the entire Elite Four, but I guess here we go. Level grinding time. I return 3 levels later, and this time, oh boy, do I finally have some good luck. I put the Poison Curing Berry back on Sasha and decide to take a few more attacks from Skarmory to set up an Aqua Ring so Sasha can heal while one-shotting things. And oh boy, does that work. Skarmory ends up using Toxic, meaning that it wasted a turn and I was right to keep it on. It then dies and Confuse Ray happens, and then Sasha gets hit with the Confuse Ray and hits herself. Then she snaps out of it and quickly finishes off Greydilly, which then sends out an Aggron, and it hits hard with its one really powerful move, but she ends up taking it out as well, with a quick attack into Surf. After that, the next two are nothing. They get taken out easily. Finally, it's Steven's Mega Metagross, which hits so absurdly hard with Giga Impact that if I didn't have Sasha set up Aqua Ring, she would have died to it. And since Metagross can't do anything on his next turn, Sasha hits it with a second Surf, and with that, I've beaten Pokemon Alpha Sapphire with only one Vaporeon. Anyways, thanks for watching. The challenge was pretty fun for me since it was easier than usual, since Super Training is available so early on, meaning I could give Sasha full EVs basically from the start. And Vaporeon isn't exactly weak, which is why I specifically chose Alpha Sapphire, because all the water types are basically the main villains, so I couldn't just sweep through everything. And now that that's done, I have a Discord server. Join it, it's in the description below. Thanks for watching, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.